Most people quit when things get hard. They give up when they feel tired, when they face failure, or when success doesn't come fast enough. They start with excitement, fueled by motivation, believing they have what it takes. But when the real test begins, when progress slows, when obstacles appear, that fire fades. They say, maybe this isn't for me, or I'll try again later. And just like that, their dreams slip away. But those who train their minds, who build resilience, become unstoppable. They don't back down when the journey gets tough. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't rely on fleeting motivation. Because life doesn't reward those who quit. It rewards those who endure. If you want to succeed in life, you must train your mind not to give up. Because discipline, not motivation, is what separates the weak from the strong. Your mind will tell you to stop. Your body will beg for comfort. The world will give you 1,000 reasons to quit. But champions don't listen to those voices. They silence the doubt. They push through the pain. They rise even when everything around them tells them to fall. And today you will learn how to do the same. Let's begin. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you push it, the stronger it gets. Every time you refuse to quit, every time you fight through the struggle, you're building something powerful, mental resilience. But here's the truth. Most people don't train their minds. They give in at the first sign of difficulty. They fold under pressure. They convince themselves that they just aren't meant for greatness. Think about it. Do you stop lifting weights when it starts to burn? Do you put the dumbbells down because it's uncomfortable? Number you push through the pain because that's how muscle grows. Your mind works the same way. But instead of lifting weights, it's lifting stress, rejection, failure, and setbacks. Picture a marathon runner at mile 20. His legs feel like lead. His lungs are on fire. His body is screaming at him to stop. Every step is agony. But then he makes a decision. He won't listen to his pain. He drowns out the voice telling him to quit. He pushes forward, step by step, until he crosses the finish line. Not because he felt good, not because it was easy, but because his mind was stronger than his suffering. Do you know how many times Thomas Edison failed before inventing the light bulb? 10,000 times. Most people would have given up after 10, maybe 20 failed attempts. But Edison saw failure differently. He didn't let it break him. He trained his mind to see every failure as a step forward. And because of that, he lit up the world. Now ask yourself, how many times have you quit after just one failure? How many dreams have you abandoned because things got too hard? The problem? Most people let their emotions control them. They give in to laziness, fear, self-doubt. They let temporary discomfort steal their future. But successful people, they train themselves to push forward, no matter what, because they understand one simple truth. Strength is built in struggle. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember, every battle you fight, every failure you face, every painful moment you endure is making you stronger. And one day you'll look back and realize that struggle was the best thing that ever happened to you. Keep going. Train your mind. Never give up. The most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Because the words you tell yourself, they shape your reality. When you wake up in the morning, when you face a challenge, when failure slaps you in the face, what do you say to yourself? Most people, they let their inner voice destroy them. I can't do this. It's too hard. I'm not good enough. And the more they say it, the more their brain believes it. Imagine an athlete training for the Olympics. She wakes up at 4 a.m. exhausted. Her muscles ache. Her body screams for rest. She could say, I'm too tired. I can't do this today. But instead, she whispers to herself, one more rep, one more step. Champions don't quit. That simple shift, it changes everything because her mind isn't just listening, it's obeying. There was a man once told by doctors that he would never walk again after a brutal accident. He could have accepted his fate. He could have let despair take over. But every single day he told himself, I will walk again. I am stronger than my circumstances. I refuse to be defined by my pain. And against all odds, he walked again. Now let's talk about you. What do you tell yourself? When life knocks you down, when your dreams seem impossible, when the world tells you to give up, what do you say to yourself? If your inner dialogue is weak, you will be weak. Rewire your mind. Speak power into your life. The next time you feel like quitting, say, I am stronger than my excuses. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. I refuse to be average. Say it until you believe it. Say it until your mind stops resisting. Say it until the weak version of you no longer exists. Because the truth is, your words create your world. So speak power, speak strength, speak success, and then go make it happen. Motivation is unreliable. It comes in waves, strong today, gone tomorrow. One day you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to conquer the world. The next, you can't even drag yourself out of bed. And that's the problem. Most people wait to feel motivated. They wait for that spark, that rush of energy, that perfect moment. But the truth, that moment never comes. Because motivation fades the second things get hard. It vanishes when you're tired. It disappears when the journey gets long. It abandons you when you need it the most. And that's why motivation can't be trusted. Think about Muhammad Ali. He didn't become the greatest boxer because he felt like training. He once said, I hated every minute of training, but I told myself, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. He didn't rely on motivation. He relied on discipline. Picture a young student studying by candlelight because his family couldn't afford electricity. He wasn't motivated. He was desperate. He knew education was his only escape from poverty. So he studied every night, even when his eyes burned from exhaustion. Years later, he became a doctor, not because of motivation, but because he had no choice but to be disciplined. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, no matter what. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's going to the gym when every muscle in your body aches. It's pushing through failure when quitting seems easier. And here's the brutal truth. If you only work hard when you feel like it, you will never achieve greatness. Because champions, they show up whether they feel like it or not. They train when no one is watching. They work when others sleep. They push forward even when every fiber of their being tells them to stop. Train yourself to act no matter how you feel. Because one day you won't feel like showing up. One day you'll wake up exhausted, discouraged, broken. And on that day, you will have two choices. Give in, stay weak, stay average, get up, push forward. Prove to yourself that you don't need motivation. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. So stop waiting, stop depending on motivation, and start building the discipline that will carry you through everything. Because in the end, discipline is freedom. Growth lives in discomfort. Look at history. Look at legends. Look at the strongest people you know. None of them had an easy road. None of them became great by avoiding struggle. But most people, they run from pain. They quit when things get hard. They hide in comfort, afraid of failure, afraid of suffering. And that's why they stay weak. But those who embrace discomfort, who stare pain in the face and say, give me more, become unstoppable. Imagine a young athlete who lost both legs in an accident. Doctors told him he would never walk again. They said his dream of being an athlete was over, but instead of accepting his fate, he trained. Day after day, hour after hour, pushing through agony, falling 1,000 times, only to rise again. Years later, he became a Paralympic champion, not because it was easy, not because he felt like it, but because he refused to let pain break him. In the depths of World War II, Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist, was sent to a Nazi concentration camp. He watched everything, his family, his friends, his entire world, be stripped away. He had every reason to give up, to let the suffering consume him. But instead, he made a choice. He told himself, they can take my freedom, but they cannot take my mind. He found meaning in suffering. And after surviving the unthinkable, he wrote the book, Man's Search for Meaning, teaching the world that pain itself can be a path to strength. If he could endure that, what's stopping you from pushing through your own struggles? Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Pain forges resilience. Pain shapes character. Pain builds warriors. Every champion, every leader, every person who has ever done something great has suffered. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was fired and told she wasn't fit for television. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. They didn't let pain break them. They let it build them. You have two choices: run from discomfort and stay weak. Embrace the pain and become unstoppable. The next time life gets hard, when you fail, when you struggle, when everything feels like it's falling apart, don't break. Instead, whisper to yourself, "This pain is making me stronger. This suffering is shaping me into something greater. I will not quit. I will not stop. I will endure." Because in the end, the people who win aren't the ones who never suffer. They're the ones who suffer and keep going anyway. Embrace discomfort. Train through the pain. Become unbreakable. Excuses are the language of the weak. Every time you make an excuse, you rob yourself of success. Every time you say, "I'll do it later," you delay your own dreams. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you stay stuck where you are. And here's the brutal truth. You will never achieve anything great if you keep making excuses. Most people fail before they even try. Not because they aren't smart, not because they aren't capable, but because they lie to themselves. They say, "I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow never comes. Excuses are just lies you tell yourself to feel better about not taking action. But winners, they don't make excuses. They don't complain. They don't wait for the right moment. They just do the work. Think about David Goggins. He was overweight, working a dead-end job, going nowhere in life. He could have said, "I have bad genetics. I'll never be an athlete. It's too late for me." But instead, he got up at 4 a.m. every day and ran. He trained until his body broke down. He pushed through pain most people would never endure. And today, he's one of the toughest men alive. A Navy SEAL, an ultramarathon runner, a warrior. Not because it was easy, not because he was gifted, but because he stopped making excuses. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty. She was told she'd never make it. She could have said, "I come from nothing. The odds are against me. Success isn't meant for people like me." But instead, she fought. She worked harder than anyone. She refused to listen to the voices telling her she wasn't good enough. And today, she's a billionaire. Excuses don't build empires, hard work does. Which one are you? Right now you have a choice. You can make excuses. You can stay in bed. You can tell yourself it's too hard. Or you can get up, take action, and prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Because here's the truth. Winners find a way, losers find excuses. So which one are you? The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. No more waiting, no more complaining, no more stopping. Do the work, earn your success, become unstoppable. Train your mind to keep going. Train it to fight when you're tired, to endure when the pain is unbearable, to rise even when the world tells you to stay down. Because in the end, success doesn't belong to the lucky, it belongs to the relentless, the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who take every setback and turn it into fuel, the ones who train their minds to be unbreakable. You were not born to be average. You were not meant to live a life full of regrets. You were meant to be great. So stop waiting, stop doubting, start becoming. If this video spoke to you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and take control of your mind. Now go, become unstoppable.